Hello and welcome to Jets of Time, Chrono Trigger Randomizer. My name is Bershana, and I'm joined here by One Free Fitz, and we're very excited for the race we have today. We've got Korenth and I'm All In, who are going to be racing in our first of our top 8 games. Cold, why don't you explain some of the flag sets we have going on today?
Yeah, thank you, Mershana. We are gonna see we're in the top 8. And so we're gonna see just like the previous races, we've got randomized bosses, which means our bosses will be shuffled around in various locations. There's a couple of bosses that we wouldn't normally see in the regular spots that are also added in. Maybe we'll see some of them later. Additionally, we've got gear randomizer, which means things can be better, worse, or different than they are in the vanilla. And healing items are also randomized, which means they will restore a range of HP or MP. The top 8 flags are also going to include our hard item settings, which means you get less money at the beginning and everything is more expensive. It definitely changes some of that beginning of the game routing. And finally, we've got the no free menu glitch, and that means that the window that we have to hit the menu button during the transition of the final boss fights is a lot tighter.
All right, thank you. We're going to go ahead and get our racers started here. Just a second.
Yeah, and while we're getting ramped up here, so for this tournament we had a few asyncs for seeding. I'm All In is coming in at the 8 seed. They got here with a win over yours truly in the first round, and then over our 1 seed Choco Sura in the previous round. And they had a really great run in the previous round, so we'll see if they are able to continue that going forward. While Korenth is here with a win over YG Esper in the opening round and Lord Batsy, and they're rocking the 5 seed.
Yep. So this should be a very exciting match today. The hard items should make it pretty interesting. So looking forward to watching this go.
Yeah, we're gonna be kicking off any second here. So what are we doing here, Marshana, at the beginning of the game? What's the kind of general plan here?
So we're gonna see that we've got 2 main characters right now randomly assigned. We've got Chrono and Robo on our team, and right at the start, our runners everybody kind of has their own initial routing of what they like to do, and they're going to be possibly picking up items, getting a few levels to get their initial techs, probably grabbing their 3rd character, as well as checking some of the free checks that exist. So they can check out the Carpenter, which is just a free item when they go over there, Carpenter's wife, and then also the Snail Stop. They can buy an item over there. So I found that each router or each runner has their own route that they like to go through, and probably we'll see different routes immediately as we start here.
Yeah, and I think usually we see some chests get checked that we wouldn't normally check under the normal item settings, and I think the desert is almost a required stop given that our runners are only got 10,000 G and everything is way more expensive than it usually is.
Absolutely, they're gonna run in here, or you can see Korenth going in, grabbing some initial items. He'll take a few fights that he'll run from, and he'll do some skips for some of the others. I'm All In, also hopping down in the desert. So you can see while there's some slight variation in where they've gone to start, a lot of the same goals they'll try and go get. While we're doing this initial routing, one of the things that I wanted to talk a bit about is the 3 different go modes that we have, just for people who might not have seen this before. So we're looking for one of 3 go modes. The first go mode is through Magus's castle. That requires Frog and the bent hilt and the broken sword. So those 2 key items and a character. The second go mode is through Tyranno Lair, and that requires the Dreamstone and the Ruby Knife, as well as the Gate Key to get back to prehistory. Once you have all of those, you can go through there, and that will lead, like Magus's castle, will lead to Ocean Palace, and you can defeat Lavos at the end of that. And finally, our third go mode requires the Pendant, the Clone, and the Chrono Trigger, which gives you access to Death Peak. And then you can go into Black Omen, and the route ends there at the killing of Queen Zeal, Zeal 2, that fight. So you'll do the 3 fights of Zeal 1, Mammon Machine, and Zeal 2. Oh, we see people...
Go ahead. Oh, we got jerky in the snail stop. Little vanilla. And I saw Chad also pointed out, it is possible to get that boss chest in the desert. It is not easy. I don't even try it, but some of the better runners are able to sneak over there and snag that.
Looks like I'm All In picked up the extra spare shelter that you get in 600 in the forest, and Korenth is about to check the Carpenter's Wife right here. I suspect that we might see later the people when they have the routers when they have a time getting that jerky, because sometimes the item of that can be very good. But right now, this early money is such a constraint. They're not going to get it. And it looks like we had the ruby knife for Korenth there. I'm all in.
And we're taking these forest fights here, taking advantage of that tech point doubling, where this is a glitch in the vanilla game that if you get tech points and learn a skill, you get them again towards the next skill. And we see lightning, life, cure beam, and area bomb. Pretty decent.
Definitely, they were probably hoping for a full screen clear with a lightning too. Area bomb's not too bad for clearing out a few enemies, but the more it makes it easier to get the next character if you have a full screen clear right away.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing taking advantage of those free shelters. Normally in normal items, I still like to go there. I'll never say no to a free shelter, but again, money being so tight, we'll take any handout tents we can get.
Absolutely. I'm all in setting up the bridge so that he can do that later.
Yep, we got to go talk to that knight captain, and then later we got to go talk to his cranky brother, so we can get what would normally be the jerky, but in this case is one of our key items in a power tab. We'll probably see that after the cathedral. I mean, he's kind of cranky.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's stressed.
He's concerned about his brother, right? And he expresses it in a way that is stressed.
Yeah, he's also cooking, rations for a whole army, so it's a lot on his plate.
Yep. I'm sure we'll see the runners going into Cathedral very soon to pick up their third character. At that point, they'll probably make some decisions on if they're going to dive into the back of the Cathedral or not, because on one hand, it has the option of it gives you another character, which maybe is better for your game, but does take some time, and sometimes you can get blocked on a boss back there. I've definitely experienced that in some of the seeding matches this time.
Yeah, the seeding matches had a couple of mean ones, showcasing how boss rando means that the normally pretty safe Yakra fight can be impossible to get by without having the right techs or party members. But additionally, because Marl and Frog both unlock a go mode or check respectively, sometimes there's a character that we have to get back there in order to get to the end of the game.
And it looks like Luca is in the burrow. I'm all in doing that check just to reference and know who's where. That sometimes can help you decide whether or not you want to go into the back of Cathedral.
Yeah, normally we like to see Luca. She has a lot of good pairings, double tech, triple techs, powerful magic on her own. But being in the burrow is going to mean we're going to need both of those sword pieces and the reforged mass immune in order to pick her up. So we'll see maybe if we get that go mode, if runners make that extra trip.
Now, it looks like we've got Marl here. Would you, at this point, would you, Fritz, go and I already got it wrong. One for Fitz.
Fritz is my ancestor who we'll maybe see if we get the pendant later.
Deliberately a tongue twister. So it looks like Korenth at least is going back probably to get that Nugget bromide, but would you go all the way into the back of Cathedral to get the character right now?
I would probably. We're not gonna get a lot of the Marl techs. She has some good doubles with Robo, Ice Tackle, and Ice Sword are pretty solid. But she's another healer. This would be a tough call. I might think about it.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I agree. It's a very tough call. I've definitely had that take a long time, depending on your group comp, and I think I would personally probably skip it and come back to it if I felt like I needed Frog for a go mode. Right? You do have Marl and Robo, so that opens the checks that they're involved in, the key item checks. So King's Trial and Desert require them, respectively. So I'd probably go out at this point, do some more checks, and come back here if I have to.
Yeah, I can definitely see that making sense, and it's interesting having early Robo. Normally, the Sunken Desert is one of the medium spots in terms of like boss power, and Red Knight being there in our vanilla means we got to have either hard hitters or some water magic to get through that. But because the bosses are randomized, it can be sometimes safer to go there early, and it is worth quite a bit of experience.
It's true, it can be. I believe he's aimed at a level 12 or so in the desert. So the bosses are scaled appropriately to the spot that they're in, and that way you're not, if you get a mutant, while they have the mutant abilities, they don't have all of the same hit points as they would if they were in Black Omen. And Korenth doing the bridge check here. We'll see in a moment what the key item is here. You'll get it. Looks like a chrono trigger, and looks like he's resetting to go back. Looks like I'm All In has decided to go to the back of the cathedral and pick up and see who that fourth character is.
Yeah, I think taking the reset there makes sense where we don't have any of the other pieces of that mode. And the bridge can take a while, and sometimes there's a boss there that we can't get past. And that always feels like a big waste of time when we find that out at the end. So I could see going somewhere else before taking that on.
Absolutely understandable, yeah. Yep. And as chat noted, we did get early ice too. So techs are, in case you couldn't tell, techs are randomized as well, the order in which you get them. Picking up some more shelters. And yeah, you can come back for the bridge later if you need to, when you can clear it real fast.
Korenth heading to 1000 AD. Are we gonna see the Hekran for the first?
Oh.
Ooh, getting that cake.
Getting that cake. Yep, gotta have your snacks.
Another interesting thing is I think each racer has kind of their own time that they go to get that cake. Some people do it early before they take their first fights. Others will go like on the way to prehistory. So it's always interesting to see when the cake gets eaten.
Yep, it is. I always tend to find that I'm at that when I've already healed a little while ago. And it looks like Korenth is going to go to Hekran Caves here with that Ice 2. He should be able to clear all the fights, no problem.
Yeah, these would be pretty fast fights, pretty good tech points.
Chat with, this is a dessert rush seed. Yeah, absolutely. Rush that dessert. And we'll see who is at the Yakura spot here in just a moment. Not a lot of hit points for this boss. I believe it's about 900 or so, right?
Yeah, I've got the handy dandy spreadsheet. Let me peek on that. I think a 900 is probably the average. A 2-part boss here would have less per part. Which slash Rego. Rego slash here is 754. And so far, just kind of hovering. Oh, a little slash. Not a lot of damage going out, so.
Yeah, this might take a little bit of time for I'm all in to get through, but shouldn't be too difficult to do. Robo given some nice punches there. One thing to note on this boss is that when he has less than 500 health, he'll start having a chance to counteract. So you want to be a little bit careful about how you go about killing him. Questions in chat about what's the estimation on the run. Yeah, we're looking, a fast seed can be an hour and a half. Longer seeds I've seen go 2.5 hours, but probably about 2 hours.
Yeah, I saw on Korenth's side, we found a red katana minus, which means it's not going to have its plus magic effect on it. Just an example of the gear rando here. I don't think we've really seen any pluses or questions yet. The desert was pretty sparse in terms of good stuff.
Korenth getting that back skip, good job.
Taking the second
and
urn.
if for those that aren't aware, the question mark means that an ability that an item has been replaced, and like kind of the algorithm to decide if something is better or worse can't really determine if it's a problem. This is boss spot HP. Thank you, Mion, for collecting that. Slash has about 920. So, except Rust Tyranno, which does have more in general. We did have one of the robes with a question mark, so I think that went to Marl.
In my head, I always read those items with like the question mark inflection on the end, so it'd be like Lumen Robe?
Who knows? Do we like it? We don't know. And Korenth running into one of the things that happens when you're going very fast in Chrono Trigger, which is that the save spot doesn't register that you're there, and you have to readjust it. Oh, looks like we've got Alia in the castle there.
Yeah, who would you keep, or looks like Robo's on the bench.
Keeping out Robo. Yeah, that's kind of a personal preference. I think, given in this case, you're going to have better dual techs between Marl and Chrono with Ice Sword 2 than you're going to have with like Chrono and Robo or Alia and Robo. So that makes sense, the way he's going with it.
Yeah, we got a Red Knight at the end of Hekran Cave. That's not a high HP spot, and it does have 2 parts, so it would be divided amongst the important parts. But we do have Ice 2. We've got Confuse. We got not a wood sword anymore, so this looks like it's going pretty well for Korenth.
Yep, has all of the tools he needs to do that. Oh, we got a cat validation on I'm All In.
Confirmed.
Very important for some of our runners to get that cat validation in. There was a point in the tournament where everyone who had won a match had done cat validation. I believe that has ended at this point, but most of our runners enjoy petting the cat.
Yeah, there are strong opinions, I think, both. I don't think there's anyone that's like, I feel neutral about the cat. So the cat validation, I see Chad is asking, is when you go to Chrono's house and you pet Chrono's cat. Charm can be worth it. I'm a charm addict, and I charm like crazy because I'm always looking for tab charms, high consumables, especially in hard mode.
Yeah, with you're being able to charm off of the bosses is probably going to get you some good items this way. Even if it's something simple as, mid-ethers, they're going to be very expensive and very valuable throughout this run.
Yeah, I do keep saying hard mode, but it's hard items specifically.
Yeah, hard mode being a different flag that is even more punishing. Upping all of the enemy health and all of the boss health and making generally everything closer to the original game in feel.
Indeed, we're seeing All In heading to Hekran Cave, so some territory we've seen, I expect, with their party and techs, they will have a similarly pretty easy time strolling through here.
I did miss what Korenth got for checking Hekran Cave. Did you see?
I'm looking at the tracker here.
Hero
medal. There we go. Turn it in a magazine for one of each tab.
Hero medal does allow us to go check the burrow at Frog and get that key item. And also, if you had Frog, becomes an equipable item.
Yeah, it's powered up from vanilla, so we've got that 25% damage bonus sunshade effect. It gives us shield, which reduces magic damage, and speed +2?
Yes, I believe that's correct, yeah.
What do we got in the pod? It's a prism shard. So we can we can give that to the king in 600 and then go to 1,000 with Marl in our party and do a check and a boss to get a key item. If we had the sunstone, that would let us get an additional key item.
Yep, and if you have the moonstone that's been powered up into the sunstone, it's helpful for that. Looks like Korenth's opting for desert here, very quick since he's cleared out some of the bosses before. And we've got Nizbel here. Fortunately, he has some lightning, so he should be able to handle this pretty well.
Yeah, that was a decent amount of damage there. I think we've got some rage band. Looks like we got rage bands going on. So we're seeing some counterattacks. So we'll see if we can manage to get through this, but magic always works.
Yep, and the lightning will stun Nizbel for a few rounds, so you won't have to deal with that damage while he heals up.
Yeah, so far we've only seen one go mode item.
Yep, that ruby knife. Chad is very insistent that the prism shard will make it a jet seed. That prism shard check does tend to be a long check.
Yeah, it does take time, but there's some pretty good loot there, and then there's some trash enemies that we have to fight / avoid from the Cathedral. They have not gotten any more powerful in 400 years. But it is a time commitment to go through there. And again, with Boss Rando, we don't have that reassurance that we know we're fighting the Yakra descendant. It could be a mutant for all we know.
Though Korenth does have quite a variety of attack types and probably could handle a mutant, I'd say. Just need to have enough MP here. Getting a little close and worrying here, but I think might be really close on getting this boss down, so we'll see how he does.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they make it through, but it would be pretty quick to kind of run back in, and we always have the opportunity, having that ice AoE, to take a couple of fights on the way down if we need just a little bit more to get over this hump.
Getting people healed up before that shock went out, that's good. I'm all in making quick work of Reptite over in Hekran Cave as well.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where our runners go next. I think I would make a run up Denadoro.
Yeah,
Because those rocks with Gear Rando can be so good.
And if you know your skips in Denadoro, it can be a pretty decently quick check. I personally am only average at those skips. Ladders continue to be my arch enemy in this game.
Yeah, there are a couple of them where it requires some movement without getting hung up. There's some finicky ones. I think the big one and that saves the most time is avoiding that like gauntlet towards the top of the mountain. Because mountains are nice, but not when we have to fight a ton of things running around them.
All right, Nizbel is down, so we'll shortly see what the turn-in for the desert is, the key item. I'm all in, getting his hero medal and looking to probably go check Burrow.
Not great chests in that desert today.
Nope, not today.
So now we gotta drop off Robo, because he's got hundreds of years of reforcing to do. And we'll probably go later and... we're probably turning in the pendant shard here as well.
Yep, prepping for that. Good routing decisions there. Since he hasn't completed the bridge, the king is still sick, but we have him back in his room here, and you can turn it in to him there if you find yourself doing this quest before you've done Xenon Bridge. I'm all in, doing the Xenon Bridge check.
We will see if they stick it out or decide to go elsewhere. Deciding to go elsewhere.
Well, he's still got to change time zones to pick up that key item first for the desert. And then maybe after that he'll decide either to do Denadoro or to continue with the Prism Shard check.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know if maybe chat can answer if we've seen how good our tabs are. The speed tabs are always +1 because speed maxes out at 16, so 1 is a lot. Our magic tabs can roll 1 to 3, and the power tabs, is that 1 to 4 or 2 to 4? It's one of those two.
It's definitely nice when they're 4s.
We like 4s.
Lord Batsy and DBZ Tribby confirming that it is 2 to 4.
So we'll see what key item Robo has found during his foresting. We're getting a lot of key items that unlock other places to go look for key items so far.
So dropping off Toma's Pop here will allow us to get down into a Giant's Claw. So Korenth has lots of choices on where to go in this seed. I'm All In has opted to go for the King's Trial.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of loot we'll get out of the castle treasury. See, I always have trouble running by the Nagat that kind of just like zigzags around down there. I have not quite figured out the timing or where I
Everyone
need to
has their
go.
own kind of route that they like for it. I know some people, like I personally prefer going on the left side, and then I kind of just pause a bit before when she shows up. I just kind of hesitate. But other people seem to prefer the right side in that corridor.
Taking a nap, saving a shelter. Back at Chrono's house.
It's nap time. Saving the world can wait.
We got another pet.
All right, yep, looks like we're doing trial as well.
Double trial. It's interesting so far. We haven't seen much divergence. A little bit different order in a couple of things, but I'll be curious to see kind of where or if our racers diverge here.
There was a Flint Edge Plus there. That might be something that they enjoy. The magic ring might be good to give to Marl as well. The gate key. There we go. So that's fabulous to get. Our runners are probably very excited to see that. That will allow them to get to the end of time and unlock magic, as well as getting to prehistory, which unlocks and possibly another character if they want to go get them. And yes, they do have to beat the boss.
Indeed.
But I have a feeling they'll be able to do it. We've got some good runners today.
Yeah, access to prehistory is also going to get us access to the end of time where we can learn magic if we wanted to. We are also able to go to the Dark Ages or the Ice Age through the end of time. So we've got 2 checks that have been opened up by the gate key, and then finally we can go to the Dactyl Nest where we will find, we know, either Frog or Magus, or at least that's what I'm All In knows. For Korenth, they did not go to the back of the Cathedral, so it's one of 3 characters in their minds.
The snake got Korenth there.
Classic.
Oh, snakes. Yeah, this definitely opens up at this point. I expect we'll see both of our runners going to the end of time and getting magic unlocked, but after that point, some runners favor an early Mount Low because you can get a good amount of XP and a good amount of items. And those items are generally fairly high ranking. Different items are grouped based off of their dungeon into different kind of quality, as it were. So the harder dungeons have better quality items.
It looks like we have Yakra the Younger in the future.
That's interesting. Very interesting. Basically, I'd say it's just kind of an easier version of the same fight. You don't have the confuse going out. And with that ice sword too, I think they will make quick work of him.
I guess it actually is the older Yakra. Now that I'm thinking about it, but
Yakra the First.
The original.
The OG, yes.
And so kind of while we're drewing about here, we talked about the early woe. I'm a big fan of going there early. I like to go there early when I have the tools. I think with Ice 2 and a magic ring, I think speed might be the problem. Don't know if our runners have committed their speed tabs yet to a particular character, but I know a key to WoW is having someone very fast so that you can just wipe enemies before they get to start hitting you a bunch.
I'm all in going for the I'll kill you before you can kill me strategy. Think he's very close to doing it. There we go.
And
yep.
there we go. So Yakra goes down as the other one starts the fight.
Yep.
And this race still feels pretty wide open. I couldn't really tell you who was ahead right now.
Yeah, I'm all in. Made a good choice getting this one. Of course, you don't know that until you're doing the thing and you see the key item. So this kind of feels like, while maybe Korenth has done a few other checks, those checks have mostly led to more checks. So it's still quite open anyone's game at this point. Lord Baxi making the comment that Chrono or Alia is probably fast enough if you want to run from the fights, and that's probably very true.
Yeah, some of those fights up there are not as great. And I like to run for those. I kind of will take the big experience fights, those 4 gargoyles, or the imps are a little bit slower, but they have a ton of experience and tech points as well.
Yep. Also, a good point that the boss at the top there is going to be decently high level, being a high level dungeon. I'm all in, going in and going immediately back into the thing to get End of Time and magic.
Yep. So we're gonna need chat to get ready to think magic, help our
Very
heroes
important.
learn how to do it.
Man, if I could just walk in a circle and learn magic, that'd be great.
Yeah, I tried it in my house too, but I must not have touched all the corners when I did
There are
it.
a lot more corners in my house than in Specchio's room. That's probably the issue. Do you think closets count? Do I have to, like, go in the closet as well?
And then every corner of the closet. This is why probably only cats are magic and small dogs, and no one else in real life.
Probably big dogs, too. They probably get their noses in there. Because they're all good boys. All good dogs.
So we got the magic. I wonder if we'll see a little peek at the text. Maybe the next save opportunity, and we'll see what we've unlocked here. The crucial Specchio skip.
Yep, don't spam your button too fast there. That is definitely a way to slow down, because you cannot leave that fight, and you're not gonna win it, so you're just gotta let him kill you.
I mean, sometimes we don't want to skip that. That is a good point. If I knew that we had the +3 magic tabs with hard items, or I've played seeds where ethers are very hard to find. Sometimes I'm very thirsty for ethers, and I will take any opportunity to get them.
I am all in, going immediately to Reptite Lair. Not going to go get the other character. I think he's happy with his current party.
Are we gonna see a secret tunnel? We're looking for it. Looking for it.
Yep.
I would usually only try 3 times, and then ooh.
Is that? I'm not sure that's the positioning for secret tunnel.
I don't think that's.
Yeah, I think it's too
No.
far left. Oh, it's one of the secret tunnels. Okay. Getting a frog, a sword there.
Korenth heading to the end of time. Presumably getting some of their own magic.
I do like Reptite Lair. It's a pretty quick dungeon and also has some grinding spots if you want to grind. The entrance is particularly popular. Also, the green reptites down at the bottom are also popular.
Yeah, and we can get some decent loot, especially with the secret tunnels have some higher tier items. We're not gonna see the double secret tunnel on this trip.
But
'Cause there's
perhaps
just
Korenth will be lucky and get it.
yes.
Then we can see both tunnels, giving us the complete, full experience.
More magic thinking. We've got more magic.
I should have worn my Camp Specchio shirt, which was a great shirt that was made when I learned how to play this last summer, which is Camp Specchio was training on all of the different flag sets with different members of the community showing them all off, and it was really great. If you're interested in learning, highly recommend checking it out on the Jets of Time YouTube channel. You can roll up a practice seed to go with it for each of the weeks, and in a few weeks' time, you'll be an expert. Okay, well, at least know all the flag sets.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I know we both were campers. I had discovered the game like just before kind of the program started, and definitely learned a lot and wanted to go and learn more when I was done. So, you know, for our viewers at home, it's we got a pretty friendly community. Everyone has been very helpful and always is answering questions, and so check it out. Come join us in the fun. This is Zombor here.
Yeah, I think this is Zombor because I don't see the core yet. Yep, so this is Zombor. And it looks like Korenth has gone into Giant's Claw. Yes, and since Retinite was in Hekran, we're not going to get the same boss twice. The only possibility there where you can get a repeat boss is in the double golem spot in Ocean Palace, just before Lavos.
Yeah, and so with Zombor, top week 2 ice, bottom week 2 fire. Can also just be hit hard with weapons. And generally we try to kill the top first.
Yep, if the top is left up for too long, then it does have the habit of doing a lot of damage to your whole party. It goes in kind of this angry mode. And that can be a bit tough to manage during the randomizer. Korenth over here showing us some good skips. Yep, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, for as a when I was a newer runner, I quickly kind of picked up that like using the wall to move, using it to, you know, do diagonals is like how like half of the skips work in this game pretty much.
That's true. And chat noting that Korenth did skip the rock that was there. Sometimes those rocks can be very valuable in gear randomizer because they can be randomized. They might have prism spec effect or haste or any number of pretty nice things can be added on to them.
Yeah, essentially the better the item, the better the random effect can be on it. What's your favorite, you know, random effect to see on a high tier item, Roshana?
I mean, I'm a big fan of sun specs, right? Because just the extra damage just being added in is really nice. And I feel like there was one seed. Oh, we've got a mutant here, which shouldn't be too bad. Korenth has got magic on multiple characters, so should be able to take care of him. But I feel like there was one where we had like haste helms plus like super. There was, I don't remember. There was like all of this speed and like extra damage or something on it. It was amazing. So yes.
Yeah, speed boosts are always pretty amazing. I like the power the power magic plus 10. Those are pretty good. I'm a big fan of wonder physical weapons. I think my personal favorite has got to be Robo with the Doom Fist or the Doom Arm.
Oh, you like him punching hard when people are dead.
Yeah, the Doom punches are amazing.
Yeah, Crisis is a fun effect, but can be a little bit difficult to manage. We'll see if we get any Crisis items later today. But I
Those
view
are. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say those are interesting because the different characters kind of have the different HP values at in-game levels, and some of them are not so great. I think Robo has some naturally pretty good ones in the 30s.
I believe we found the pendant at Reptite Lair there, which opens up even more at this point for I'm All In. He can choose to go to the future, charge up the pendant, and be able to get some more good items.
Yeah, that's right. We're really wide open here in terms of where we can go, and we know that both runners have looked at what's on the bridge, which was our Chrono trigger. So we're a clone away from knowing where all the go mode pieces are.
Correct. And if we get the Dreamstone, that would open up the go mode for that way. I'm All In, opting to go up Denadoro, it looks like.
It's time to climb the mountain while the mutant fight continues to go on. Mutants are never easy.
No, I'm not sure if I would open up the future at this point. Given that we're at hard items, getting those extra items from the chests, from the pendant chests, would be really, really useful at this point. But maybe he feels that he's not quite strong enough to do so and wants to gain another few levels before trying to do Dragon Tank or some of the other bosses there.
Yeah, I think with magic unlocked, and I'd probably want to make sure that the Dreamstone wasn't somewhere before I decided to dive into the future. I do like that the sealed chests, especially in Gear Rando, you can just really clean up on some great gear. But it does take a bit of time to go through that trial, so
it's true.
I'm not confident we're gonna see my ancestor Fritz hanging out in the jail, let alone if someone will free them. So I guess for now I will remain the one free Fitz.
I'm all in getting the skip that almost always annoys me. Those ladders in Denadoro are my enemy.
Yeah, they're a little bit forgiving, but if I don't hit them right on, then I'm not going up them.
Yeah, if you're pressing a little bit to the side during that point, it can be a problem. And also, getting all those skips for that point in the mountain there was not too hard to do, but saves loads of times if you accidentally mess it up, because it forces you into 3 or 4 fights.
Skipping the magic tab there.
I mean, it is 5 or 6 menus to go through, but I don't know if we've seen how much magic tabs are worth. Oh, Dreamstone!
Ooh la la.
Korenth must be happy to see that. At least I thought it was Dreamstone and not Moonstone, just in case. Go good. All right.
And so that's
a go mode.
A go mode for Korenth. Yeah, go through Tyranno to unlock the Sky Gates, and then head to the Ocean Palace to finish the the seed.
I'm all in making quick work of Masa and Mune there. We'll see who's at the boss at Denadoro.
A quick drink of the prehistoric magical water. Refresh the party.
Looks like Korenth is doing some more shopping just to make sure. And we've got Lavos spawn at Denadoro.
Yeah, I'll be curious which one it is. We should know soon enough. Destruction zone. That's Elder, isn't it?
Doesn't it usually just say Elder spawn when it's Elder?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I think it's just the regular one. And Elder spawn does the water attack there, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Ah, Elder spawn does not say Elder yet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we've got this spiky shell with a big beak to deal with. I think I would say that this Denadoro spot can be scary because Massa Immune hit pretty hard, and they have a decent amount of hit points. I know that our characters are at a pretty good level, but this is taking away kind of our multi-target attacks here as well. So I think we're seeing a little bit of a slow fight kind of due to needing to ether for triple kick and confuse and not being able to really take advantage of Marl's magic power.
Yep, it makes it a little trickier in this case. I think Korenth might be doing one more check or some grinding. Oh, getting secret tunnel right away.
Wow.
Congrats there, Lucky.
Well, we have a shot. A Giga Arm Plus. That is pretty cool.
Very nice for Robo to get. Get big Uzi punches.
We're not waiting for a second secret tunnel. Just going. Yeah, I wonder, if we imagine ourselves sitting in the runner's shoes, and, the interesting thing about these races is the runners have no idea how far their fellow racers are. It's always kind of the question of, do I think I am is this a fast time? Am I ahead? Do I feel behind? Because I think we see, runners will adjust their habits a little bit based on that feeling of, I'm going to start skipping some chess. I'm going to start, fading on some tabs, or I don't feel ready to go yet, and I need to take some grinds because I think I found this pretty early. So I guess if you were sitting in their shoes, how are you feeling at this point in the race?
Getting this early go mode, I would definitely be feeling like my opponent definitely did and is probably ahead of me, and so I need to be going as fast as I can. But it looks like Korenth is feeling a little bit of the wanting to make sure that he's high enough level to do the boss at the end of Tyranno. So looks like we're going to get a little bit of leveling here in these evil weevils, and that arm will really help with Robo's damage as well. So
I wonder if there's like a particular tech on a character that, like, if Robo was pretty close to like Uzi Punch,
yeah,
a quick grind would speed us up long term, I think.
I think if you didn't have Confuse or Ice 2 on Chrono and Marl, so you didn't have Ice Sword 2, you definitely want to do that step. Looks like I'm all in's going for the desert here. That will get him, I believe, that pop, and then
the pop gets us the Dreamstone for
yep.
for the go. Yeah, I guess we haven't really seen the runners venture into many areas that have like high experience fights.
Yeah,
So having
Hekran's
kind of
good early, but neither of them have gone through woe, so they don't have that experience nor Genodome. So they're probably definitely feeling the pinch of being a little bit low. Though Korenth is looking better now, and as you can see, he's heading back in and gonna do that. Grabbed about 4 levels, it looks like there.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot better about being in here at 20 versus 16.
Definitely. I've taken some go modes pretty low, and it just, they're doable. It just gets very slow.
Yeah, definitely. And Tyranno Lair is it's decently long kind of dungeon to unlock that final dungeon, and there are some skip opportunities. I know that there's a couple in here that I really struggle with, and I haven't gotten like the knack for quite yet. This first outside area, in my opinion, is a little bit easier. The second outside area we'll see in a bit is a lot harder to get those for me.
Yeah, I do pretty good at the second area with the zigzags, but the run up to that gate on both can be a little bit tough on both of these.
Yeah, I recently finally got the knack of the zigzags. I had to adjust. I was zigging too early, and that was messing up my zag. Which is like, sounds like, very vague, but like, I think knowing how the skip works, there's some nodding heads in the audience there. They get it. I mean, there are a lot of helpful videos, I will say. As a new runner, I was kind of like, oh, all of these skips seem really intimidating, and they can save, a lot of time in aggregate, but other fundamentals such as like optimizing your power, efficiently approaching each fight is also another area where a racer can save a lot of time. So it's not necessarily essential to go fast and be perfect at all the skips.
Yep, I've been doing a bit of thinking about how I want to approach what character choices I make. I tend to play a little safer, a little more conservatively than some of our faster runners, and I think that slows me down a bit.
Yeah, there's always that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I'm all in, turning in that pop to continue that chain.
Yeah, and it looks like we have a vanilla Nizbel fight here as well.
Yep, you absolutely do.
Yeah, so far, look at that lightning damage. It's a decent hit, but that's really where I think those levels, that grinding paid off, because at 16, we would have been in a lot more trouble taking that lightning hit. But at 20, I think that there's enough of a cushion that we can heal up a little bit and keep the attack going.
And it looks like Robo hasn't learned the party heal yet, which is one of my favorite Robo spells. I essentially use him for Uzi punches and heals.
Yeah, definitely those are two areas where he shines. In desperation or where there are not other options available, I've dumped magic tabs into him to make him better at healing, and a magic power boosted shock is pretty strong.
No, that's true. And it pairs with Luminaire for is it Max Shock?
Super Volt?
Super
Max
Volt.
Shock?
Thank you.
Super Volt, yeah.
Super Volt. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes I think when I was a newer runner, I kind of always used tabs to augment the strength. So I would make fast characters even faster, and I would make magic users even more magic-y. But I think the more that I've played the game, and because it's random, we have to sometimes do stuff with the tools that we're not used to using. I've gotten more comfortable, like throwing a bunch of tabs on Ayla so that she can just tailspin things a bunch, or Frog or Robo are both good to boost their magic power and kind of make them more effective overall.
Yeah. My understanding is that Fire Whirl Ayla with Luca is very good, especially if Ayla has a little bit of magic on her.
Yeah, chat pointing out we got a little of a time travel high five as Korenth is in the, unsunken underground Tyranno Lair, while I'm all in is running around the. I guess did Lavos meteor bury it underground? It's not really clear how this castle got
That's what I
underground.
always assumed as a kid happened, is that it got buried when the meteor hit, and apparently everybody evolved and lived down there. Food wasn't a problem, I guess. Maybe they ate mushrooms or something? I don't know. Cave mold?
Yeah, and I believe it's the case if you've gone to Giant's Claw and open those orbs in the throne room, that those chests will also already be open in the past.
Yes, when you go into your go mode, they will be open. I find that very interesting to do because, like, it's I hadn't realized that they were exactly linked like that, which is neat.
Those particular egg chests are unstuck in time, and so those contents. Chat asking, yes, this spot will always. Is that true? This spot's always Black Tyranno, right?
Yes, this spot's always Black Chrono.
But the element is randomized that they blast out at the end of their countdown.
Correct, as well as his hit points are randomized. So
yes.
They can be a little bit high or a little bit low as well.
And there we see Azalea go down.
Yep. A little bit slow on that because Ice Sword 2 has a physical component, so it isn't as effective against him.
That tough dinosaur skin is just hard to bash.
It's true. And the Black Tyranno has removed its barriers and is now time for beating up the dragon before it beats up you.
Yes, the old damage dash before big bad attack happens. And we got the mutant fight again on All Inside. Since they're going there later and they have a little bit of a different party comp, I'll be curious to see if that goes a little bit faster.
An interesting theory from chat is that Lavos actually sends it into a pocket dimension where time has no meaning. I guess there could be wibbly wobbly timey wimey Lavos stuff. He does make gates, so maybe it got buried underground and teleported to the year 600 and then stays the same to the year 1000? Sure.
Yeah, there are certain things that I just don't think too hard about. But it is interesting to try to fill in some of those gaps from time to time. And I think Tyranno's getting low in the count here.
definitely a race going on right here.
We got the 1 count. Yeah, when time travel is involved, thinking hard is not recommended. One often ends up with giant diagrams of scribbles, frantically trying to explain it to another person. So just keep it simple. And the blast. That looks.
I believe that is fire. But he got some re-raises out.
Love to see the re-raise. That is a change, I guess, to note that some of the characters have been reworked from their vanilla. The idea overall, because we get random characters and we don't get to, assemble the optimal party all the time, that there's some balancing going on. So, for instance, Marl is a little bit faster than she is in the vanilla game, and a couple of the techs have been kind of boosted or altered, where there was not a clear good use for them, sort of vanilla.
Yep, a couple of Magus' spells were also reworked. Black Hole is a pretty useful non-elemental magic attack that you can use. And Marl's rework has made her much more desirable overall. I did see the broken menus. I was hoping that it seemed like it corrected itself, which, thank goodness, I would have been a little worried about that. So hopefully we won't have any more issues on Korenth's side with his menus.
And there we go. Big dinosaur down.
I'm All In has set his Dreamstone and is beginning his climb to head towards the Black Tyranno, and not doing a grind. So I think he's close to the same sort of level, thereabouts. We'll see when we menus at some point.
These outside reptites, sometimes they just bonk right into you.
Yeah, even when you pause a little bit there to try and let them...
There we go, showcasing. Going for the... again. I would just sprint through this. Yeah, I'm now learning how to go for the treasures thanks to I'm All In.
I've practiced it a few times, but I also don't want to risk it in a race setting yet. So I still do the rush to the left side there instead of trying to get all the treasures.
Yeah, so we've got both racers in go mode. We've got Korenth, a few minutes ahead right now.
Yep, I'm All In has 2 bosses to get through. Korenth doing some last shopping. Mechlor is guaranteed always to have revives and shelters.
And we definitely have... I would say that I'll be curious to see how the different characters set up. Potentially if All In has some better double text working with Ayla and the party, we might see some faster boss fights. I don't think we've gotten rock throw yet on Ayla, so we're not seeing any. No cubes are being tossed.
Yeah, not quite yet. Ayla does have triple kicks, so that's pretty great.
And heading to the...
Heading to Zeal,
For sure. I've taken the wrong Skyway before, and then there is a flag set that's relatively new, the as we like to call it, the epic fail or epoch fail. It's where our time machine does not have wings at the beginning, and we have to find those. And it's possible to get go modes without having a flying machine, and in that case, one does have to take the skyway to the other skyway to the other skyway. It's a lot of walking. Got a waste helm,
Oh,
which
so
means
sad.
it doesn't have haste, but it has speed +3, which I guess
Yeah.
is kind of like haste, but not really.
Not quite as good. I did see a pretty good rainbow helm there with some plus power on it that was equipped onto Chrono earlier. Korenth doing a big sell-off to buy various things. See what he ends up going with. Probably an amulet, as he'll want one of those. And then we'll see if he can... Well, looks like he's moving on, not going for that waste helm.
And so we do have the 2 different new shops here. For if you talk to them on the one side of the counter on the right versus the top one is going to always have an amulet for us. I'm going to make a note that there's a speed tab there that I've been forgetting. And there's usually a couple other like high consumables in the news shop. It's really our last place to stock up before we dive into our final set of bosses and our final dungeon.
Yep, I'm all in, getting through Nizbel 2 and getting ready for his Tyranno fight.
So we're coming up on the golem spot on Korenth's side. I wonder who we will see here. I want to see Golem Boss. That's what I'm rooting for before the run is over.
Golem Boss being a nice freebie to get.
Flea Plus, I would love to see Flea Plus.
Oh, I've got Hekran, huh? Okay.
Yeah, probably not too scary of a boss to see here.
Keep Robo on healing duty. We'll have a chunk of health, but hopefully won't do too scary of amount of damage. Yeah, Cyclone will be a little rough, but he'll do 3 cyclones, then go into defensive. So if you can survive the 3, you can heal up again before you attack again.
Like Robo's still rocking that counterattack band.
Well, helps put out a little bit of extra damage here and there. Not a lot on this boss, but can be helpful elsewhere.
Now we've got I'm All In, getting ready to head into their Tyranno fight. We'll see if they are able to avoid the end of the countdown.
Oh yes, chat noting that I'm All In got the double dino skip, which is pretty tough to get. It requires quite a bit of precision on placement there. And it happened so fast, he made it look so easy that I didn't even see it go off.
Yeah, I probably should just have like a save states saved there so I can like practice that one multiple times in a row, because I'm not seeming to get it casually racing.
We're seeing those cyclones come out from Hekran.
We've got Hekran hiding, taunting, saying, "Come on, hit me, nothing will happen."
I'm enjoying chat's comment about I'm All In's name. Yep. I was just very into what he was doing.
Well, he, I I always root for both racers to win. I guess I'm cheering for the tie, but there's always that personal connection of people you run into in the tournament that beat you, and you want to cheer them on. But yeah, that is actually the racer's the racer's name. And
Korenth
Hekran.
getting through Hekran. Yep. Ah, now big punchies on Robo there. Uzi
There are
punch being a lot of fun.
not a lot of obstacles in this game that can hold up to hundreds of punches.
Well, and he does have that really good arm that he got from diving in the secret tunnel, which will be really helpful for getting through these fights when he uses Robo.
Yeah, so we're into Ocean Palace. Marshana, what are you thinking about when you're coming in here? What's on your mind?
Focusing on getting my skips, running away from which ones I want to, and kind of deciding how much gear I'm picking up. There's a few treasures that you can kind of skip or go around. Looks like Korenth is opting to get this treasure chest in this room. You have to take the fight in order to do it, but you can run. It's one I tend to run away from. And the other place... Oh, looks like he's deliberately wanting to take the scouter fight here.
Yeah, they have pretty good experience. A lot of tech points from everything in here, pretty much. And sometimes they drop some real nice stuff randomly.
Oh, those mid-ethers are going to be nice at this point in the game. And then I'll also be thinking about how much grinding I'm going to do at the grind spot. Right, I'll be looking at what level I'm at, what level I want to take Lavos at, and how quickly I can clear that spot. I've got Luminaire, so it's pretty easy to do so. To kill those fights very quickly.
Yeah, and on all inside, we're looking a little low on MP, getting some people back up. It looks like we have some pretty high hit point revives here. I think that was 99.
Nice. Makes that a little bit safer as you do it. What are the main things you're thinking about as you're entering Ocean Palace? You would ask me earlier.
Yeah, I think you hit on a lot of the big ones. How do I feel about my levels? What fights am I going to take? How am I going to approach the elevator fights? Depending on what characters we have, things like Frog Squash or Dino Tail make them very easy. If I have Magus, and I got Black Hole, I want to make sure I'm positioning him correctly. Because those elevator fights, without kind of having those clearing abilities, can be definitely slow. And with the wrong input, get out of control, as I've learned a couple of times.
Hyper Ethers at the grind spot is great to see. Korenth is at around level 24, 25, so I expect he'll do some more grinding. Yep. But having those for later in the fights will be great.
Yeah, I always love those high-level consumables.
I think I've seen tabs there once, and it was amazing.
Yes, anytime tabs show up, there's always that, and it's a grindable area. Can be tempting to hang out there for a while.
I'm all in doing his final shopping before he goes into Ocean Palace. Making sure he's got enough shelters and revives. Definitely don't want to end up at Lavos shorter with 1 or 2 revives.
That is one of the, I think, worst feelings as a runner, is going into that inventory and not finding them when you're in the final stages of Lavos or Zeal 2.
Yeah, Zeal 2 can be especially tough sometimes if you don't have any revives with that halation, or if you don't have a mega elixir sitting in your back pocket. You might lose someone to it.
Yeah, I mean we do have 2 characters in both parties that have spells that can revive, plus re-raise, but still, every time that I think that, then Chrono and Morrow get knocked out, and now I am just fighting poor Robo against the world. And if I had a Doom arm, that would be fine, but usually I don't. So I always forget you can change your equipment from a shop menu.
It's actually much faster to do it that way. Saves you time unloading the menu in and out and switching over to it. So it's the recommended way if you're at a shop. I find the menu, the layout, just enough difference that I feel like I'm slow whenever I'm doing that menu. But yeah.
Do we have
I'm
Max
all in.
Cyclone? I don't think so. Looks like those Lapis are about, I think I saw 231 hit points for the party.
One alternate they can be in item randomization is, instead of being hit point lapises, they can be magic point lapises, which is really interesting to have. It helps for getting everybody full very quick. I'm all in, looking for that helm, I think, but not sure if he's got the items to do it. Looks like no. So just the amulet to make sure we can get through obstacle on Lavos. If Lavos ends up having stop as obstacle, which in this game obstacle is randomized each seed. If it's stop, it's basically, and you don't have any protection versus it, it's a wipe. So want to make sure you can at least have one character survive that. And it doesn't quite work to try and use Lifeline to get through that, even if you've got the party for it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. We don't go. Yeah, we're on the edge on Korenth's side of having like Scream Wipe power. I did see Max Cyclone. I don't think it was going to be able to hit everyone where the positioning was.
And looks like Korenth is done with his grinding and moving on.
Because sometimes the speed, of those final dungeon fights can really like make up the gap in a race. I've definitely, just as a viewer before, seeing a more powerful party be able to make up time just from knocking stuff down faster.
Yep, execution at this point can make up quite a bit of time, so still a very close race, I think, at this point. Korenth could hit a random boss in the double random spot, which could end up being really difficult, give him some trouble, or Naimolin could execute really well on things and close those gaps.
Yeah, I think there's the potential with having Ayla and Dino Tail to navigate those elevator fights a lot faster. Versus Korenth is going to have to do a little bit more individual target management.
Definitely.
Get that last save point before the elevator. Meanwhile, we've got the Hekran fight for the second time over on All In.
That looks like he's using the defensive time period to, heal up Chrono. He might get a counterattack from this, but maybe he's confident that he can kill the spot.
Yeah, I know sometimes with Hekran, they will say that the counterattack is over before they come out of their crouch. I think that might have been what happened there.
Ah, okay. There we go.
And a couple more hits and that first elevator fight's down. Life 2 and Lifeline.
I'm all in, and now in Ocean Palace and not far behind, though he probably does need to do some grinding.
Fight number 2 on the elevator. This one is pretty low stress.
Yeah, you just want to try and make sure you can get that Barghest down so that you get the XP that he gives. Sometimes it'll run away, and that's less ideal.
Yeah, we'll get to see how much grinding. All In looking at it, looks like 23 for their levels, 23, 24. So I imagine we'll see them grind here for a bit.
Yep, and again, also a little tough for I'm All In to do the grinding because we've got the we don't have a screen clear, and it takes 2 attacks to get most of them down. Looks like Korenth has now learned Super Volt and is on to the last scouter fight of the elevator.
Yeah, it does look like we got a timer pause on All In side, but there's an official race time GG room that they're in, so no worries there. Punch in some scouts.
Yep. I definitely do see this elevator as a place that I'm All In can make up some time with that Dino Tail. It's taken Korenth a bit of time to get through each of these fights, but if you set it up correctly, you can basically one-shot each of these fights with Alia's Dino Tail.
We see chat asking about Max Cyclone. Is that non-elemental? I honestly don't know. That's why I'm
not
asking.
sure on that one. I thought Max Cyclone might have an elemental component, but I'm not sure.
It's physical. This is a situation where, like, if I wasn't sure, I wouldn't try it here, because if it did do like shadow damage, because it uses laser spin as one of its techs, so I think, like, logically I might be like, oh, that's probably shadow, and then they're all going to counterattack me when I hit them with it.
Yeah, that could be a bit rough if that happens.
I think in most other areas I would just try it and then learn and remember that for next time, but specifically here is not a place I would try something I'm unsure about.
Yeah, good to know that it can be for our edification on this in the future. Right, Korenth is through that elevator, and I'm all in's doing continuing grinding.
We're gonna see. Ooh, almost.
The positioning on exiting that skip is a little bit tricky, and one that takes quite a bit of practice to get. He's got a second chance to go for it on this other side over here.
Yeah, I know myself. I've gotten about 50% consistent with this.
Nice.
I can usually get 1, as we've seen there. But yeah, the overall idea there is to kind of use the carpet as your guide to walk in, hit the switch. That's the easy part. And then when you come down, I try to do it in a way so that the spread scooches me, if that makes sense, and then you can run out after that, but getting that scooch is the tricky part.
Alright, we'll be seeing the twin boss here soon.
Golem boss? Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Double black Tyranno, so DPS race here essentially.
Yeah, this will be interesting. A lot of hit points here.
I expect to see some re-raises going out just to be safe. But that would only get you through one of the breaths, so... but a 2500 Ice Sword 2 and 1300 Uzi Punches might see him through on this. If you can focus and get down one of the heads and some re-raises out, that's how I would probably try and handle this one. Not quite as bad. I'm not sure if I would dislike this more or dislike Double Dalton more.
Yeah. There's a couple ones that can be nasty at the twin spots. I never love to see Atropos here.
Yeah, that's definitely, I've seen that one. It can be a little tricky. I feel like I've seen Double Golem Boss. That was
That
nice.
would be great. I'm still pulling for that Golem boss. I want to see it. I think our racers have been doing a great job, and they deserve at least, one easy boss on the way up here.
Sadly, I think this is our last boss.
Yeah.
Lavos is next. But it is nice to occasionally get Golem Boss at a relaxed spot where you're expecting something hard. I'm all in using Falcon Hit over on the other side to do his grinding.
Ooh, if we got Falcon Hit, that's an even faster way to deal with the elevator. Without having to do the low HP setup.
That's true. That's true. It's all physical damage and it hits the whole screen, so it can get you through those scouts pretty easily. I think I agree with chat. Left head looks like it is down and Korenth is targeting the right. Yep, just the right head is up because the other one isn't doing the screech as well.
Yeah, it can be hard to tell sometimes, but yeah, this not screeching anymore is definitely a giveaway, because the one that's down is still, like wriggling its snoot around, which would lead me to believe that it's alive, but nah.
Oh,
Ooh.
looks like we've got water here. Hex mist. Expect this to hit pretty hard. Oh, not as hard as I thought it would, so.
I see chat pointing out that perhaps the Giga Arm might have the crisis effect on it.
Does it?
We should be able to tell by if we keep our eye on those Uzi punches, and they are doing different damage based on that last HP digit. That will be the for sure sign. One of the more exciting things is seeing the damage off of a 9-digit Uzi punch.
Absolutely. Chat asking about obstacle. I thought he did pick up an amulet, but maybe he didn't. Yep. There's an amulet.
So here we go, heading into the Lavos fights. What are we concerned about coming into this first phase?
Well, definitely want to be able to handle that obstacle, and basically be able to either punch out enough damage before he kills you, or be able to mitigate that damage with healing. He should be completely fine on this, I think, with Robo and Marl here. Lots of healing at this point. So I expect to see lots of Ice Sword 2s and easy punches, and yeah. I'm All In has completed his grind and is heading down to Lavos. And Lavos over here on the left with Korenth.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to see a lot of Falcon hit on the way down these stairs and down the elevator, while we look out for that obstacle. What would be the least bad obstacle? Poison?
Yeah, poison's not too bad. You just want to get rid of it so it doesn't affect your damage. Doesn't tend to do too much hurt to you. Big Uzi punches there from Robo. I feel like with an 8 we might have seen bigger Uzi punches, but maybe not. It's still a pretty big one there. So probably crisis effect, as chat has stated. Looks like it's lock for our obstacle, which isn't too bad. That just requires a heal to go off.
Yep, a heal or a cure 2.
Yes, indeed. Stop is the worst effect.
I was trying to reverse commentator curse a little bit of naming the nicest thing.
Oh.
And we do see a reset there.
I, of course, glance away for half a second. And I think it was just... I think that rain just did too much more damage than he was expecting at the time. Oh, this does provide an opportunity for I'm All In to close. Especially with these fast elevator we should see from him.
Yeah, definitely our end-game bosses, be it the 3 phases of Lavos or Zeal Mammon Machine, Zeal 2, are by no means ever really free or guaranteed, and so there's definitely some randomness that can knock someone off, and with lower levels, it can be scary, especially without any like HP boosting items. I always love to throw those on before a final boss fight if I don't have anything better.
Yep. Sometimes you just get a chain of effects, and it's a little bit more than you're wanting to do at that time.
Yeah, and I think overall that gear rando was not being real generous this time around. Because sometimes one can have just crazy powerful gear and not have to worry about surviving as much because we're hitting so hard. But I think this is like a definite
That dino tail
tougher.
coming out.
Yeah.
I think some of that is due to the harder items that we're dealing with, because in each of your chests, you're in general not going to see as much nice items. Korenth getting that heal out with Robo this time, prioritizing that so that the destructive rain doesn't affect him.
Some hasting, get Robo going faster, more punches. See all in hitting their switches. They'll be heading pretty shortly into their tangle with the Rusty Brothers.
Yes, this has been a really fun, interesting race to watch. Oh, Crisis is giving Robo some trouble with that 0 in his hit point, making him do 0 damage on that counterattack.
Yeah, it can definitely take some management of that HP digit to get the most out of the Crisis Arm, plus a little bit of luck from your enemies rolling nice damage numbers.
And phase 1 Lavos goes down. On to phase 2 for Korenth. I'm all in, setting up some haste.
Yeah, Falcon Head not doing a ton of damage there.
Well, it does use some lower level techs versus, say, Ice Sword 2, which uses, like, Confuse, which is a much higher level tech. So it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does have its uses, as we saw in the elevator. Oh, going for a triple kick on him.
Wow. Solid, almost 4,000 damage there.
That looks like our plan is just to final kick everyone, all of them down.
Yeah, we don't often see a ton of triple teching. Sometimes it is the best option, though. Usually we can output more damage kind of overall with single and doubles, but again, sometimes it's what you can do.
I'm all in making fast work of that first boy, and getting the second one down very quickly as well. Korenth over here working on Lavos Part 2. Banana's not taking out anybody quite yet, so not quite being mean. We definitely want to get that left arm down fast. Oh, both of them went on to Robo. That if both bananas do hit you, you'll likely lose that character.
Yeah, those triple attacks really powered through that Tyranno fight. I feel like All In definitely made up some time there.
Absolutely. That was an amazingly clean fight there. Well done. So close at this point. Perhaps we'll see a similar sort of clean Lavos 1 fight, and we'll be very, very close.
Yeah, Lavos 2 and 3 both can be very scary. Those bananas hurt real bad. The lasers also hurt bad. Pretty much everything hurts bad from here on out.
Yep, chat noting that I'm All In also did a little bit more leveling. But this is an exciting race at this point. Entirely possible that Lavos could give Korenth some trouble somewhere with some... sometimes he's just focuses someone down and doesn't do what you want as a player, and you have to go again. So very exciting here.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll get to see kind of what this different character composition kind of brings to the table over on the Lavos shell versus chopping that arm down. There we go.
All right, we'll see obstacle from Lavos 2 here again. So
Yeah, we saw the whole party got locked.
yeah, I believe that one of the arms took down Marl's protection status. The little gray balls that attack at one point do that, and it can be, well, annoying, because then you get everybody locked like that. Fortunately, I believe Korenth has brought enough heals, so it's just a matter of punching out the damage at this point and staying up against what he's dishing out.
Yep, healthy diet of ice swords, oozy punches, and heals when needed.
And I'm All In getting through Lavos 1.
Yeah, definitely very close. I'm excited to see how this concludes here.
Yeah, very much so. All right, Korenth is through Lavos 2. I'm All In is starting it up right now. Let's see how this goes.
All right, coming into Lavos 3 here, we will see our first attempt at executing the not free menu glitch.
Yep, the window is much smaller in these final 8 games.
And there are both audio and like visual cues we can use to get the timing. Got it. Very nice by Korenth.
Well done, well done.
Ethering up, healing up. One last
Uh-oh, got a little bit
check.
of trouble going on there over at I'm All In. bananas being difficult over there?
I think with this physical party, it looks like we're gonna see some left bit strats.
That's very exciting for me. I normally entirely stick with center bit strats. So seeing some left bit strats in practice seems like it could be pretty good. But he does have a lot of healing with Robo and Morrow in the party, so that makes sense.
Yeah, re-raise the healing, taking down the left bit or the center bit makes the true thing we want to hit, the right bit, vulnerable to damage. However, if we leave the middle bit up, they have some really nasty attacks that we don't want to see at all. I won't even name them because I don't want to be blamed for it. And versus if we take down the middle bit, the worst that can happen is the remaining two team up and knock down one party member at a time. So it's definitely safer to knock down the middle bit, but sometimes I think it can be faster to go for the left.
Yep, kind of a risk-reward trade-off there.
Ooh.
Oh no!
This is bad.
What a rough bit of...
Oh, and Robo's got a 9 on their digit too.
Ooh. 2 stops and a confuse. This should unconfuse Robo here with this hit. We'll see if Korenth is able to continue going through. Darkstar will only do half health damage, so it shouldn't kill anyone here, but does put him in a very vulnerable position.
Still got some heals left.
Oh, bit of a nail biter going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. I'm all in, using those triple techs on Lavos too. Trying to close this gap.
Yeah, we're pretty close to maybe seeing a double Lavos 3 here. As Korenth goes to take down left bit again. They weren't really able to get a whole lot of damage in on that first cycle.
There comes out that very powerful magic attack from Lavos 3.
Ouch.
Oof. Big hits. Time to use that Mega Elixir, yep.
To confirm for chat, runners do not know where the other runners are. They're completely in the dark in the racing chamber. So it's kind of all based on feel of how did I execute? Did I get a lot of extra checks that maybe my opponent didn't? I don't know if either of these runners would feel particularly ahead or behind right now.
Right, looks like Korenth has stabilized again, though we did lose a Robo just now to a big slap from the center bit.
Yeah, center bit has some big old hands, and they hurt.
I'm All In has now moved on through Lavos 2. Oh, this is very exciting to see. Oh. Big hits on Chrono there too as well.
Yes, center bit just slapping people down.
I'm All In gets his menu skip. That's gotta feel good at this point. I don't think... They don't know how close they are right now. This is incredibly exciting to watch. This top 8 match being this close between these great runners.
Yeah, we're pretty much neck and neck because not a lot of damage has been done to the right bit here. That is a good call with chat. Final kick, we're not going to be able to do that on lefty. Because that does do shadow damage.
I'm all in. Does seem to be going for the left bit struts.
We saw a lifeline. Always a good idea against Lavos, especially with the center bid. Yeah, we did not get to see Mount Woe this time. I'm a little disappointed. I shed a tiny tear for the Misery Mountain.
Almost a mirror hastes going out there on our teams. Lavos Core doing a bunch of status effects. Oh, 2 chaos and a slow.
Yeah.
Maro breaking out Chrono, so.
Yeah, those songs have been pretty devastating for Korenth so far. The timing wise has really put a stop on their offense.
I'm sitting here and simultaneously rooting for both players. This is so exciting. I'm all in, getting those triple tech kicks in on the body of it, the core. The right bit, as some people call it.
Nice damage. Very nice. Yeah, All In is really hasted up and just pouring on the damage at every opportunity. Yeah, I would say by damage they've gotten ahead now.
So I'm trying to sit here quickly doing math to see how much I'm all in has gotten on him. Pull out a calculator, see what I can find.
Oh, Marl is struck by lightning, taking a nap. As one does after getting struck by lightning.
I'm all in very close, or at least almost halfway at this point. This is quite the nail biter. Getting a third one in there, where the defenses go back up.
Yeah, that's a nice move. There is a little bit of a delay for those defenses to go back up.
Yep. Korenth now moving towards center bit strats, it looks like.
Yeah, I can't say I would fault them there at this point with center bits. Just keep singing at the worst times and get him out of here. Nice
so we've
ice
seen
sword
3
too.
triple kicks on the core and 2 ice swords, I believe. So
we're getting close.
I think Korenth is getting some hits in now. Gets again some more damage in there. And there we go. And I'm all in. Get your GGs in chat.
Yeah, GGs.
Thank you, man, for tracking that race time since his thing went down. What an exciting ending to this top 8 race.
Yeah, I think both runners have put forth a really good performance. We've seen a lot of great execution. We've seen how Lavos can wreck a day. And that no lead is safe when final bosses are concerned.
I believe we'll try and get come over into chat here in a moment. Oh, yep. Good point made by chat. Is this is Korenth will move down into the losers bracket for this tournament, so still has a comeback to continue on his journey in this tournament. I'm all in, doing a great job and moving on to the next round. But yeah, definitely one of those character choices. Alia making a big difference for him, picking up that time in elevator, picking up that time on Lavos 1 and 2. And great execution on that third Lavos phase.
Yeah, and while we're waiting, just to kind of look across the tournament bracket, All In will be moving on to face the winner of hello.
GG, I'm all in.
I don't think I'm All In has joined the channel yet, but hello, Korenth, how are you doing?
I didn't even see he wasn't here. I am rather pissed at Lavos right now.
Yeah.
I could not stabilize to save my life.
Yeah, did look like those
GG's.
Those were giving you a bit of trouble there.
Yeah, I got double stopped twice, and the other character got confused, so you can't even heal through it. And the one person with an amulet, of course, gets hit with the status protection removal.
I would say that you were pretty lucky getting the moon at that time, the moon attack at that time for half health, because if you had gotten one of the other ones, it would have been a lot. I don't know if you would have had the ability to recover from that one.
Nope, no. The moon was the only thing that saved me there. The fact that I got the 1 mega elixir gave me a chance. And eventually it was like, look, every time I heal someone, he gets slapped, I get triple attacked. Screw it all, I'm going to actually use Lifeline. And then no one dies from that point forward, of course.
Yep. Well, this made an incredibly exciting race on our end, so thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm guessing we did the same go mode.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did I'm All In grab Cathedral character?
Yeah.
Who was Cathedral?
Ayla.
Oh! That would have been so much better.
So looking at some of the go modes here, Denadoro Mountains had the bent sword and Mount Woe had the bent hilt. As you knew, Xenonbrid had the Chrono trigger, and Clone was Melchior's key item, so behind...
Oh! That's terrible.
Let's see, looking for where Frog was.
He'll either be Dactyl Nest or Protodome, because Luke was in Frog's HUD.
Yeah, Frog was in Dactyl.
Yeah.
Frog was at Dactyl, yep.
Well, I am glad I considered climbing Dactyl hoping for Magus, and I'm glad I didn't, but...
Congratulations, I'm All In. GG.
GG, man.
Thank you.
That was an incredibly exciting and close race. Thank you for that.
Yeah, so, I definitely was trying to take a lot of safety at the end. Grinded a lot more. I don't know. It didn't feel like I was doing a whole lot of damage. Things just weren't real pretty, and, I think, the goal of don't die is always a good one.
Yeah. Who was your final party?
Ayla, Chrono, and Marley.
Yeah. Now, I didn't finish Cathedral and went with the initial trio.
So, yeah, I just wasn't happy with the starting text, and so I, tried to finish Cathedral and see where it took me. And I was trying to avoid the future like the plague, and, checking everything that was, for a potential go mode that was Tyranno Lair.
Yeah. So where did you find the pendant?
The pendant, where was the pendant?
Pendant was...
Reptite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I skipped Reptite, went straight to Giant's Claw, and got my go mode. I'm guessing I made it to Lavos first, and then Lavos, double stopped me 3 times.
So between the speed that I'm all in had through the elevator and the Lavos fight, yeah, that's where I'm all in made
Yeah.
up most of the time. But he was pretty close behind you. You were pretty much exiting Tyranno when I'm all in was right around starting it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured might be the case. And yeah, I tried to max cyclone the elevator fight, which would have been great, except that that 10,000 hertz attack that never hit Robo after I did the skill input, so I lost both Robo and Chrono's turn.
Yep.
I felt like I took forever at the grind spot because
Oh, I did too.
Luminaire couldn't wipe them. Eventually, I got Falcon hit to wipe them, but yeah, I forget about Max Cyclone.
Yeah, no, I ended up using a rocket roll to mostly clear, and then Ice 2 cleaned up. But
Yep.
yeah, that was good. That was a great race, and GG to you. I'm all in. That was I knew coming in that it was going to be a tight one.
Well, thank you. GG to you as well.
Yep. Thank you to our runners, and thank you everyone for joining us. This was an exciting race, and we do have more Jets of Time races throughout the rest of this week as we go through our top 8 races. So please keep tuned for this, and we hope to see you there. And if you're interested in joining and learning how to race, please take a moment to join our Discord and have a great time.
Yeah, well put. I don't really have anything to add there. Very nice job. Great race. I learned a couple things just watching, as I always do. And definitely good luck to our runners in their next matches.